Obviously, it's the NBA. You know, you got games coming every other night, so can't dwindle on it too long. But I mean, there's still things that we can go back and learn from. Obviously, we'll have to play them again. So just not gonna try to just sweep this one under the rug, so that way next time we're prepared.
Yeah, Keon, above 50% from the field and from three for Boston. Just where did you feel like your guys' shortcomings were defensively?
Um, they had a lot of fast break points. That kind of helped them get into some of those threes. Those easy field goals. So they definitely killed us in that aspect of the game. And then I mean, obviously, they have some guys that can make some tough shots. So, but definitely the fast break points is where we got killed at.
I know I'm asking this before you guys actually do a film session and breakdown of everything, but what do you think you can learn from a team like Boston who responded this way on the second night of a back-to-back? Because I know that's been a struggle for you guys.
Sometimes it may be within, sometimes it's not in the film. Maybe we got to, get up for games, have a better start, finish quarters better or whatever it is. But, I mean, and when we do look at the film, I'm pretty sure there are some things, personnel-wise where we try to limit guys from getting to their spots or whatever it is. But I'm pretty sure there were some things on there too. But I think, it's more on us on this one.
Obviously, they're among the best teams in the league, but how surprising is it to see 5 dudes scoring 20 points or more?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even look at that. But I mean, it's no surprise to me. Like you said, we're, one of the top teams in the league. This is the NBA, so you have guys capable of doing that. But they're a good team and they're capable of that, and we knew that going in. So just got to kind of make it tough on them, and try to limit some of the offense that they bring.
Keon, you mentioned the fast break points, 30-6. What went wrong there? Mike was talking about pushing the pace before the game, and this is a team who played 5 and 7 nights. What do you think was the problem there?
As much as he talked about pushing the pace, I still think that, even though if they're playing a back-to-back or whatever the case is, I still think that, they're still going to try to push the pace as well. So it's still on us to get back on defense, defend our rim, and not give them easy baskets because, this is the NBA. Once anyone gets it going, it's kind of tough. So especially these guys, if they see a couple of layups go in and if they get a couple fast break layups where you have to help and they spray it for a wide open three, those are kind of easy shots for them and they just start flowing from there on. So definitely got to limit that and, like I said, make it tougher on them for their offense.
Keon, your guys' overall record isn't bad at 16-10, but of the 10 losses, 7 of them are completely non-competitive games where you guys just really get smoked. Do you see something in those games that like stands out to you?
I just think that in a lot of those, teams just go on runs where, we just don't have an answer for anything. So kind of like what I said earlier, I think it's within, just if they're going on a run, just got to, huddle up and say, listen, we're going to stop this possession right here, to start our own run. So I'm pretty sure that's happened in most of those losses where, teams are just keep punching us in the mouth and going on big runs where we have no answer for them. But kind of like I said, it's all from within, just wanting to get stops and pushing the pace and locking in defensively.
Keon, what was said in the locker room when you guys got back there, if anything?
Not too much, just give them credit because they won. They did what they were supposed to do, and that's pretty much it.
You guys got smart. Like, damn, dude, you couldn't use a better word choice. Y'all.
I mean, I don't know if there's any way to cookie cut.
You're right. Well, y'all got maybe dominated tonight. You're right. I was thinking that shit.
I walked in right after.
what you got in my bag? Where? In your bag. Umbrella? No, the big bag. You never bring your bag. Oh, it's just an umbrella? Bag. Oh, I forgot my umbrella. Remind me to grab my umbrella. I'll be pissed if I don't grab my umbrella.
You got the mic? You got it?
Oh, what time is it?
Start right now so we can get out of here.
I was like, he only smoked like 2 minutes. Seemed like. Not even, maybe not even 2 minutes. It felt weird.
It was like 4.
It was 4 minutes?
Davion Mitchell. We're talking about this.
Way over here, so
That was good old-fashioned butt kicking. Give the Celtics a lot of credit, especially coming off a back-to-back. They for sure looked like the team that was waiting on us here. The 18 second chance points, the 30 fast break points. I mean, that's crazy. It's in 55% from the floor, 52% from the three-point line, 144 points. Give them a lot of credit. Joe Mazzulla kicked my behind on down, and all I can do is take my hat off to him.
I know it's a really good team over there too, but how surprising is it to see 5 guys 20-plus points?
I mean, I guess it's surprising. I didn't look at that. I guess I looked at everything else. There's a lot to look at, but I mean, again, they kicked our behind, so you just got to give them credit.
First half, obviously, kind of a track meet for you guys. I noticed that moment where you kind of blew up at them in the huddle, not closing out. Did that kind of set the tone, I guess, for what was to come in terms of not recognizing perimeter defense?
I've been with a lot of good teams, and I kind of went after them at that point, but sooner or later it has to come from within. They have to hold each other accountable for our play. I thought we had a group that we had out there with Keon and Malik and JaVale and HB and Trey. That was our best group. We actually competed, I thought, for a while on the defense end of the floor, and we didn't come up with 50-50 balls and stuff like that, and some things bounced their way, and they hit some threes when we did a pretty good job getting some stops. But besides that group being out there, I thought it was way too easy for Boston the whole night, and I mean, sooner or later, somebody's got to get tired of it and say something and look guys in the eyes and try to hold them accountable. That's what I tried to do, and it didn't work. And so we just traded baskets from that point on until they created some separation.
Mike, with Boston on a back-to-back, are you surprised that you gave up 30-point fast break points tonight?
Yeah.
Where do you think you went wrong on the fast break part?
We didn't do a good job of getting back. They played harder than us. They were more physical than us. They were up in us. And starting with me, I got to do a better job because, you try to complain to the officials, but they're human. They're going to make mistakes, and it ain't going to change. And I think the more you complain, they're human, so that's the more they're going to try to call things against you. And so we gotta be grown-ups about it, and I gotta leave the officials alone. And because when I start whining, everybody else seems like they start whining, and it's just a snowball effect. And if we're gonna be the team that's supposed to be the physical group out there, then when we face physicality, we got to figure out a way to play through it, and just try to play our game and not let it impact us on either end of the floor.
Mike, fast start for De'Aaron, obviously, and then I think only 3 field goal attempts in the second half. What did you see happening there? How did they limit what he was able to do as the game went on?
They were just physical. They got back in transition. They loaded the paint. They were very physical. The start of the game, it was the track meet, and nobody was really playing defense, and then you could just see they just cranked it up. And like I said, I started complaining to the officials. We all started complaining to the officials, and they smelled blood, and they cranked it up even higher. And that probably had something to do with it.
Mike, you've talked a lot about the gap between good and great,
Yeah.
and that gap seemed pretty wide tonight between your
Yeah.
team and the Boston Celtics. I mean, what do you take away from that? Is this almost a necessary evil for a team to experience something like this to see what that difference is in real time?
For sure, because, like I said, sooner or later, it has to matter to the players. And I say this, I'll never forget people talk about LeBron's greatness on the court. My first year in Cleveland, we were a show team back then. You can jump out and show, and they didn't shoot the three as much and some other things, and we worked on that all summer when I got there, and then we worked on it all at training camp, and we started out kind of slow my first year there, and I'll never forget, we were like 8 games in, and we were playing a home game. I can't remember who we were playing against, and we were just getting killed in the pick and roll, and so I called a timeout. And finally, I said, hey, look, what do you guys want to do? I mean, we tried showing, we tried switching. You want to try? What do you want to? And before I can get another word out, LeBron, as a young player, he stepped into the huddle, and he goes, excuse my French, but he goes, F that. We're an effing show team. We worked on it the whole training camp. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Let's effing go. And I just stepped out the huddle. And from there, you go look at what our defensive rating was the rest of that season and the next 4 years. And sooner or later, all the great teams, whether it's Draymond and Andre Iguodala in Golden State, or even Tim, Avery Johnson, other guys in San Antonio, every great team that I've been a part of, it's come from within at certain times, especially when you hit adversity. And so, we got to keep hitting adversity, and we got to keep trying to have it come from within and find a way to dig ourselves out of a hole like this by holding each other accountable throughout the course of the game. So, you got to go through this sometimes. Long-winded answer.
Yeah, Mike, learning something from these games doesn't seem like what your team is doing, though. You're like 6 or 7 times a season where they're not competitive and they let go of the rope out of like your 10 losses. Is there something you're seeing, or is there some way that you can connect with them on that, where they don't have games where it just looks like a complete blowout from pretty relatively early in the game?
Yeah, a lot of the games are when the physicality of the game by the other team impacts us. And like I said, when it does, it usually starts with us complaining, starting with me and everybody else on the bench, everybody on the floor complaining to the referees. And then the other team senses that, and they just tighten that wrench more and more and more until they finally are able to break loose. And that's what I'm saying. We somehow, some way, have to just lock in on ourselves, hold each other accountable, and go out there and do our job to the highest level that we can. If you watch our game, think about in the first half how many times we gave one effort, and then they got a wide open shot because we wouldn't continue to rotate. Think about them. How many times did they continue to rotate and even contest late or come up with 50-50 balls? Those are telltale signs of, a team understanding at all times, no matter, no matter what the score is or how much time's on the shot clock, you got to keep playing. Each possession's a 24-second possession, and you got to find ways to come up with the ball. And we did not do a great job of that tonight. Now, I will say that, our guys have fought, and we're in a pretty good position. We'd like to be in a better position, and there are some games that we have not been competitive in, but most of the games we have. And I'm hoping that we find a way to be more competitive against teams that have given us problems with the physicality level in a 48-minute game.
Yeah, Coach, on the topic of it needing to come from within, you've been really complimentary about De'Aaron being the best guy on this team.
Yep.
And his progress as a vocal leader. Is he the one that you really look at as you want to hear that from?
It's got to start with him and Domas for sure, and then from there, we have other veterans that speak up. But then, once it's said or once it's done, especially the guys that are speaking up, they got to go out there and they got to do it. They got to leave the officials alone. They got to play hard. They got to try to execute the game plan. They got to keep talking out there and holding each other accountable, and keep trying to find ways that to get us back in a ball game if we're down big. Thank y'all.